glad you're here and that we're doing this.
I'm glad to be here.
This is the first interview of the Survivor series where we're talking to Holocaust survivors like yourself. And the reason why I was inspired to do this was after meeting you 2 months ago, the thing that immediately caught my attention was your energy and your spirit for life.
Yeah.
And,
I'm still doing it, but 94. Still doing it.
and my question for you is, you're 94 years old.
Yes.
You lived through one of the darkest periods of human history.
Yes.
You witnessed your family members die, you witnessed friends die, you witnessed 6 million Jews die.
Yes.
Yet you still have this amazing positive mindset and outlook on life. And I'm just wondering how you were able to build that.
Positive thinking. You know, I was thinking, if I'm going to start being upset about, because it's gone, it happened. I understand I lost everybody, almost everybody. So I feel sometimes very sad, but for myself, I don't want nobody should know about it. So I do something, I cry alone. But I learned that you have to just pick up yourself and do something with yourself, because I'm still alive. I have children, grandchildren, and I have to be there for them. So I'm very positive. When I teach to the schools, that's what I think they teach the kids, be positive. Because the most important thing is to be positive and not bullying nobody, and just be good to your parents. And they love that. Because I remember one boy said to me, he said, you know, I was the worst child a mother could have. But I'm going home now, and I'm going to be the best son that a mother could have. I said, go home, hug her, and kiss her, and said, you love her. He said, that's exactly what I'm going to do. It gives me pleasure that the children ask me this kind of questions. Then after that, they write letters, and you know, and how much they appreciate that. It's the positive thinking made me feel that way, you know.
Yeah, because there's so many people that survived the Holocaust.
Yes.
But they were never able to move past the traumatic events that they experienced.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They were never able to really move forward and have that positive outlook and shift their mindset in that way and create a beautiful life for themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, like, when did that start for you? Because you were 11 years old when you
Yeah.
went through these experiences.
Yes. Yeah.
When were you able to really flip the switch and be like, I'm going to use all of these experiences to my advantage. I'm going to use them to help other people and share my story?
I'm going to tell you the truth. When I was 11, of course, it wasn't the wartime. I worked, and I worked because it's again all the same thing. I had to work to survive, and I had to work because my mother was older in my, those days, and my brother was working, and it's in my head, it's like nothing else. Just I have to work and survive and think positive. And since some time, I don't remember little things when I was about 10 years, 11 years old. And I said tonight actually, I said, why can I not remember things when I was 11? I just remember when I was younger, or I remember when I was hungry, and we didn't have a piece of bread, and we didn't have nothing to eat, and we were actually like starving. I didn't have no clothes, but I said, you know what? It's going to get better. All the time in my life, anything I did, I had a positive thinking. Today is a bad day. Leave the day aside. Go to the next one. And the next day going to be wonderful. And you know what? It works. It works. I go on sometime and I do something. I do one thing, doesn't work out. I get upset. I said, Anya, don't get upset. Two things doesn't work out right. I said, you know what? I think to myself, and I talk to myself, Anya, go home. Go home, lie down, think about it. Tomorrow is a better day. I wake up in the morning, I said, here it is, my better day. Now start doing what you couldn't do yesterday. And everything works out just beautiful.
Did you learn that from your mom, your dad, or is that something that you just taught yourself?
They all learned that from me. My dad, the German killed him when I was 10 years old. I didn't know. I had no father. My mother was, my mother was learning things from me. My brother was a negative person. Anything I said, you're wrong. Everything I said till today, he lives in Pompano. When I tell him, you know what, I talk about the Holocaust, and I do jacket, everything like that. He never gave me a compliment. And this is that we went through a war. And of course, I cannot talk to him now. I'm going to see my cousin, but I'm not seeing my brother. I'm going with Reina because he's negative. I learned that the hard way, everything the hard way. I was working hard, I was thinking, and I always succeeded. I've been a makeup artist for 30 years. I was a designer of one-of-a-kind jackets. Here, this is nothing. My jacket, Diana Ross had one, and Prince had one of my jackets.
So someone like your brother, right?
Yeah,
Who is a negative person.
very negative.
So how do you handle that? Even though he's family, is it something where you kind of have to distance yourself so you don't let that negativity?
I tried it so much to look away. I said, okay, he's like that. Nothing I can do about it. I said, I'm going to look away. Let me talk to him again. We talked for a while. Then he started again. I said, Sam, why do you think so differently? Because you're not right. I said, Sam, didn't we go do this the wartime? We were hungry with this. Oh, it's like never nothing happened. He's...
Does it make you, I can see it makes you a little angry to think about it.
It's terrible till today. It just, my daughter is adopted and they cannot, I couldn't have no children because of the war. So he and his wife keep saying, she's not your daughter. She was 2 weeks old.
I have a question. Why were you not able to have a child?
Because something in the war happened to me.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but I was pregnant, I was losing, I was pregnant, I was losing. So I was living in Canada and I decided to adopt a girl and everybody said, you're crazy.
How old were you when you adopted her?
30 years old.
30.
Everybody said, you're crazy. I said, you know what? You think I'm crazy, but the time will come that you're going to say, Anya was so right. We were crazy. You know what? It's true. Now, a friend of mine that was saying, you're crazy to adopt a child like this, and it's not yours. And you know what? Now she said, Anya, she lives in Canada. Anya, you were so right. Now I don't see well. I have nobody. She said, you were so right. I wish I would listen to you.
One of the things that I feel like is so special about you too, is that you seem to not care about the opinions of other people.
Yes.
And I guess that was, you were on your own for so much of your life that you had to really create your own identity and create your own path.
Yes.
And I see one of the biggest things that many people struggle with today is they care way too much about the opinions of other people.
Yes.
And they let those opinions stop them from pursuing their dreams, from pursuing their purpose.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone like that who is just letting other people's opinions affect their life?
I kept saying, when things like that, I said, listen, if somebody did something wrong to you, think about it. Or you should fight and pull each other out and start fighting, or just look away and forgive or forget. And that person, after a while, gonna come back to you and maybe apologize and be friendly to you, because you were right. So they don't know how to apologize. They don't know how to say, I'm sorry, whatever. But they're trying to be nice to you and talk to you, and that's it. And no fight back. If you fight back, you don't win. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You fight like in the school, the children. I was going to school in Russia, and I remember that the boys were afraid for me, because all the girls were going, when it was wintertime, they were going with me holding a hand, because the boys should not throw snowbirds and attack them.
snowballs.
But they were walking with me because they knew the boys will not do that. And then I'm sitting in the class, and one boy, I knew him from outside, and he started bullying me out. I took my hand and I slapped him in the face so bad that he had a scarf around for a while, and he started crying and running away. I said, you should never do it again. This is just the beginning, I said. So he went to class and announced it to the teacher, and the teacher liked me a lot. And she said, Anya, don't do it anymore. Oh, Anya, don't, she
Anya.
talks to me differently.
I have a question. First of all, I hope that kid that you slapped is okay.
Yeah.
I hope he's healed from that.
The what?
I hope the boy that you slapped has healed from the slap.
He had a scarf for a long time.
I have a question though. So there's a very famous book from Viktor Frankl, who survived the Holocaust, and it's called A Man's Search for Meaning. And in that book, he talks about the importance of having a purpose and meaning, and that's what enabled him to survive the darkest of moments during the Holocaust, is he knew there was a purpose. After all of the darkness passed,
Yes.
he would be the light, and he would find a life of meaning, right? And it comes back to the mindset.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, did you have a similar type belief
Yes.
in the camps?
Always. Now, I wasn't in the camp. I was in Stalingrad.
Yeah.
It's all the time when the planes were flying and everything, I said, that's okay. They're flying, they say hello to me, okay. I said I wasn't really scared, because I was hoping and wishing for the future. There was something in my mind that I'm gonna survive, and that's okay. The plane, okay, because I never had that kind of a bitterness. And they say, oh, the planes are flying. Oh, they're gonna kill me. Oh, no. I always was hoped. I said, you know what? Soon the Russians gonna come. They're gonna push away the Germans, and everything gonna be right. We're gonna go back to my town, and I hope that all my family is alive. Hopefully, they weren't alive. All of them got killed. But it's again. My mother married a Polish man, so we left Russia. But it was hope. All the time in my life, I was living with hope.
It seems like that's what really enabled you to survive, because I oftentimes say that fear is the greatest disease.
Yes.
So when you're constantly in a state of fear and you're scared that the worst thing is going to happen, you're basically attracting that thing to happen, and a lot of scary things can occur. But you were operating from a different frequency, a different energy of hope. Like tomorrow's going to be better. Right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Like sometime I'm really in a bad mood, but I'm not by myself. I start to cry and everything, and I get that kind of a feeling that I'm getting out of I'm getting crazy, because I start to think about my relatives, that I have nobody and everything. But then when I start saying to myself, Anya, pick up yourself. It's not so bad. pick up yourself, forget about just what thing that you were thinking. And that's what happened.
You were 11 years old, 12 years old when you got liberated, right? How old were you exactly?
No, when I got liberated, I was already 15 years old.
Okay. So during that 4 years,
Yeah.
for the people that are unfamiliar, what is your day-to-day life for those 4 years?
Well, I was in Stalingrad.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. If the German take Stalingrad, then we take the whole world. You know, we were very close to it.
And what was a day-to-day life in Stalingrad?
Very
Food, shelter, what was it like?
shelter. We had one little room that it's like my mother was sleeping. We had a cat like in the military, one cat. Me, my mother was sleeping with the cat. My brother was sleeping on the floor on straw, covered with newspapers. My mother was working in a hospital with the wounded soldiers. Mm-hmm. When I didn't have no shoes, I didn't have no clothes. When the soldier died, my mother took off the coat and took off the shoes, and she brought it to me. And I didn't even have a scissor to cut it to make it shorter. But that's because I didn't have nothing. But it's still hope. I said, okay. So I said to my mom, if you want, I should go find some wood for the winter. I said, but I have no shoes. She took some cloth and she wrapped around my feet with this before the shoes I had. And I went to look for some from the locomotive, from the trains, that the coals was falling down when they were passing. And we were on the railroad, I was living there. And me and my brother was going collecting pieces. He had also schmatters around the feet, and were bringing it home for the winter, everything. Then we went to the field. The droppings of the cow, we let it dry in the field. We didn't pick it up because it was wet. In the dropping, I went on the second, third day to pick it up, the dropping, to put it in a big, to bring it to the house. And the room was so small that it's almost as big as your toilet.
What would you use the cow poo for?
Heating the oven.
Oh my gosh, really?
Because they eat straw, the cows.
Yeah.
So it was good. Oh, it was very warm from that. And we brought it in and we put it in the house too. So everything together there. No food. We went to the restaurants and they gave us a little soup. So it was water with a few rice floating around.
I'm curious to know, during that 4-year period, obviously you witnessed a lot of darkness, a lot of tragic things around you.
Yes.
Are there any certain moments or experiences that stand out that were just, wow, I can't even believe this is actually happening?
You know, I never thought about that. It's always, I was thinking, oh, well, soon we're going to come home back to Belarus. And I was just hoping all the time that my father going to be there, my cousin's going to be there, my grandfather going to be there, the violin player, which they cut his fingers off and they killed him. So anyway, I was just hoping all the time, all my life. I was just hoping as a child and working, hoping and work. Like I did that in the shoes, and we went, they cut out the wreath, you know, with a suckle, you know. So it still was standing out, pieces like that. And I did that in the shoes, so I was working on it. So you have to collect 20 kilos of wheat, because when they good with the suckle, not so whatever is left over, you have to collect it, put it in the sack. So when I came home, so for the 20 kilos, I'm gonna get 1 kilo for myself. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I came home, and my mother said, "Where were you?" I said, "Ma, we have no food." So I went to collect some this so you can make a soup for us. So my feet were bleeding. My mother said, "You're not going anymore. you're not going to go anymore.
I'm curious. It sounds like almost you were the mom for your mom in
Yeah.
some ways.
Yeah.
It sounds like at
Yeah,
like 11 or 12 years
Yeah,
old,
that's
you were
right.
like taking the lead for your entire family.
yeah.
So I'm curious to know, that's incredible that you did that. And I'm sure that's a big reason why we're here today and you're still alive with the positive outlook on life that you have. But I'm also curious to know how that impacted you, maybe not feeling or receiving any love in your life, right? Even from your family, not being told I love you or not being hugged or kissed.
I never had that.
Yeah.
And I teach the children to do that. I said it's very, very important. How bad the parents are, but it's your parents and they love you. And you should remember that they love you even you don't think they love you. I said, go over to them, give them a hug. I said, a hug a day takes the problems away. And I said, give them a hug and tell them you love them.
What's so amazing about you too is because you grew up most of your life not receiving any of that
Not receiving-
affection or love.
No,
But like when I see you
Yeah.
and we get to hug each other and we get to spend time together, I feel so much love from you. And it's just a really powerful reminder that just because you grew up and maybe you witnessed something, maybe your dad was an alcoholic, it doesn't mean you have to follow in those footsteps.
yeah.
Maybe it's a alarm and it makes you aware of like, wow, I don't want anyone to have to experience that, what I had to experience. I'm gonna change my actions and my behaviors and create a new reality based
I
on
think I took this from my father because I remember my father was very caring person. He did hug me sometime because he was working very hard to bring a piece of bread to us. So he was the caring one, but not my mother. My brother, forget it. So my father was very caring man. And I think in my head it remained that my father was so good till today. I said he was the most caring man that somebody could have. And said that's why I probably took over from him.
when you were 15 and the war ended, and you're basically by yourself at this point, right?
Yeah, my mother was always away because she married a Polish man. And I was all by myself, on my own all the time.
How were you able to ever trust anyone in your life after that? After you witness, your family get killed and you witness all of the darkness around you, how were you able to actually find trust in other humans?
I got to tell you something. I said, not everybody's bad, not even the Germans. They had to do, if the Germans, if they took a child and said to the German, you kill that baby, if not, we're gonna kill you. So what should they do? So he killed the baby because you should. So they weren't all the Germans weren't bad, they had some good quality in them, but they had to do what Hitler told them to do. And if he wouldn't do it, they would kill him.
I think there's a lot of people that don't even comprehend. Out of the 6 million Jews that were murdered, it's about 1/4 of them, 1.5 million, that were children.
Yeah, a lot of children, 6,000, 8,000 Jews from our town in Belarus, and my father was between them, and my little dog was between them. They told them they took 8,000 people. There were some of them Christian too. They took out the Christian people, they told them all around to look how they killed the Jews. So my father was between them. They had to dig their own grave. And they told them to get undressed. Why you think to get undressed? Because they think the Jewish people have hidden diamonds and gold in the clothes. So then they got it, the German took it and looking through. So they tell them to get undressed, and one by one the Germans were killing. My little dog jumped on my father. That's what the peasant people told us, because we were a very good friend with the doctor. And he said, Raya, to my mother, Raya, I'm sorry, but they killed your husband. And he told us how they did that. They said the earth was still breathing when they killed the 8,000. So I wanted to see the grave of my father. For so many years, I said, I have to see. I'm gonna go back to Slutsk. I'm gonna go there. I found somebody, took me there, and a taxi driver, and he took me to the grave, and it was a monument there, said 8,000 Jews. Now they said it's 8,000 citizens, but before it was Jews. It's all the time the flowers there, everyday flowers. It's only 70 Jews left in our town, and it was 15,000 Jews was there. And my grandfather, he died before the war. He was a mayor and a banker of Slutsk. My whole family was very, very educated.
Yeah.
Just not my father, because he had a stepmother. By me the war started. I had to work. So, but my whole family, my uncles, one uncle was working with Stalin in Kremlin.
It's amazing how much of your family background and history you know.
Yeah.
And when we fast forward to 2024 and we see what's happening in the world,
Yeah,
and we see what's happening on college campuses in America, and we have people all over the country, right, yelling for the death to Israel, death to the Jewish people.
yeah.
I'm curious to know, how does that feel for you?
It feels terrible because the kids, they cannot understand that. I said many times, I wish I would be there, talking in front of the kids. You never know what could happen to you. You think Hamas is going to be good to you. When everything going to be quiet down, he's going to give you freedom. He's going to give you money. He's going to do what he did to his young kids. Shields, put in the front, let him kill the kids instead of kill them. I said, you're going to be killed. You're not going to be alive. And the schooling, you're not going to be able to go to school, and you're going to be on a paper that what you did, and you're not going to get the diplomacy. You're not going to, and maybe one day they're going to tell you to leave because you're not a citizen. I just felt so much. I wish I could do it, but
You feel a lot of like anger about what's happening.
Yeah.
It's just 80 years after the Holocaust. And there's that famous expression of history
Yeah.
does repeat itself.
Could you imagine? That's right. That's right. It's terrible. They think if they're gonna win, everything's gonna be good for them. It's gonna be terrible.
Do you see a lot of similarities between what's happening now on college campuses and cities all over Europe with these rallies and protests? Do you see a lot of similarities to 2024 in America and all over Europe as opposed to, 1941 in Germany and other places in Europe?
Yeah. Well, repeat that one.
I'm just asking if you feel like there's some similarities between what's happening now. And
Yeah.
it seems like back in 1941, 1942, people didn't really comprehend the capacity and how evil Hitler really was and the capabilities that he had.
They don't believe that.
Right? And I feel like it's almost the same thing today with
Yeah.
Hamas and these other terrorist organizations.
Yeah, that's right.
People don't comprehend
No.
the evil forces that exist in humanity.
That's right. That's right.
And like you were saying, it's not necessarily that some of these people were even bad people, but when you're given the order of your life's going to be taken, or you have to kill this innocent baby,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you're probably going to still choose your own life.
that's right.
And-
And after that, they could kill the person too, you know. But so far, that's what there was Ukraine. They were going with Germans. I should hate them. I should say they shouldn't do nothing for them because they were going with the Germans. But it's again, this is a new generation. You know, it's new people there. They're all the people, the war people that was going with the Germans, they're probably all dead. So you have to look away that and say, listen, they think, oh, what my grandfather did, he was killing Jews, he was killing this. So they think about it, but they cannot do nothing about it. So they, when somebody says, and I know a lot of people that from Ukraine, they said, once a girl said, oh, I'm from Ukraine, right away it's like with a knife in my heart.
That's honestly how I still feel kind of
Yeah.
about when people tell me like about their trip to Germany or something. I still have like scars.
Yeah.
I'm like, it still for me feels so traumatic for what was experienced with the
Yeah.
Jewish people. Like, I still have no interest in going there. I know it's not the same.
Well,
I know.
I'm going to
people
tell you
there-
something.
Yeah.
That's wrong about you.
Mm.
If you think like it happened, it's gone. Now you want to see, I went to Germany. I went, March of the Living, we went to Germany too. And I went to Berlin, I saw the wall, I saw like cemeteries of Jews, but it wasn't just stones. It's a whole place, like this is, Jews got killed. But that is gone. But you have to think about now, not about past. You have to think about now and think about the future for yourself or for other people, but not to think what happened. What happened, it's gone, it's forgotten. It's like a dream, you know.
Or a nightmare.
Well, even my whole family is died, but it's like a dream. But sometime the way they got killed, that's what bothers me, you know. So
You know, I feel like going through an experience like the Holocaust would challenge one's belief in God, right?
Yeah.
How could God let something so horrible happen? So I'm curious to know, do you believe in God now?
now I do, but I didn't even know I was Jewish when the war started. Because we were not allowed to practice Judaism. Just my brother, I remember he was going to school, and that was in a house, a synagogue in a house, and he was going there, and I didn't know what it is, but he was going there, and I didn't know I was even Jewish till we came to Stalingrad,
Wow.
and when we came to Stalingrad with the cattle train, it's about 50 cattle trains, we came out and the peasant people said, where's your horns? So my mother said, what do you talk about the horns? Jewish people have horns, you know. So we went through went through a lot. We did that, went to sleep, we did that, no food, you know. We went to another thing here. My hair was full of lice. I got sick of typhus because you shake the head and the lice was just falling. My mother washed my head with kerosene to kill the lice.
Your mom washed your hair with kerosene.
Yeah, and then I had to then I ended up in the hospital with typhus. And my mother was not allowed to go in there because it's contagious. And I had nothing. This is you're gonna appreciate that. This is my mother wrote a letter to my uncle in Moscow that Anya is in the hospital. We have no food, we have no clothes, we have nothing. She's in the hospital, and you have to help us. And a week later, somehow the letter went to him. That was shocking. It came. Suddenly, it come in food in the house. They bring the kolkhoz, how you call it, like a kibbutz. They brought us in, and they brought a parcel. And the parcel was something for me. And I was supposed to die on the 14th day because the fever didn't drop. So my mother took out,
You were supposed to die from the typhus?
yes,
Okay.
and she was not allowed to get in. So she was in the window, a small little window, took out little shoes like this, Shabbat leather shoes, I remember. She was waving like that, and I was just looking. And I started to cry. Oh boy, I would like to wear the shoes. Then my mother showed the material for my dress, for her dress. And she was showing that like, and then she showed my head because my head was shaved, a little head. And my will to leave, I wanted so much to leave, to wear these things. My fever dropped. Next day the doctor said, I never seen something like that. He said, I don't know what happened, but you can take her home. The will for life, to leave. I wanted so much to leave, just to wear the little shoes and the dress,
Wow.
you know.
That
And-
gave you that little hope.
Yeah, and then my
Of
mother
one
got
day.
killed. They brought her from the field, and things like white was coming out from the mouth, and they brought her with a horse and buggy, and we thought she's died. She was lying in bed, almost dead. I said to my brother, look for a doctor. So he ran out to look for a doctor. Me, I ran outside. It was winter that time. So I had no shoes, I had no clothes, but I ran outside. I stood on my knees in the window with my hand like that. I didn't know anything what I was doing. And I was just saying something. And I just say something. I said, my mother should die. What's gonna happen if we're not gonna have the mother? What are gonna happen to me and my brother? And you know, when I was just sitting and crying and sitting in it like that with my hands on my knees, and then I said, it's time to go to see if the doctor's there. We're walking in, and my mother's sitting on the bed. Where were you? I said, Ma, he was sick. She said, what are you talking about? She said, I'm not sick, I'm okay. I said, Ma, you were very sick. She said, you silly girl, kids. She said, I'm not sick, you know. So you see, so I was praying, I probably was praying to God.
Wow.
But now I believe that there is a God. But
For a while, was there a little confusion around that? Around your belief in God and Judaism? Like when you were 15, 16, getting out of that Holocaust experience?
no, I never was really religious. No.
Yeah.
No, it just, I said there is something, somebody created the world, somebody created people, so there is somebody there. They call him God, okay, so it's God, but we don't know who he is. So we're living with our mind, with our heart, that somebody is there looking over us. That's it.
So this is the Survivor series. And when I think of you and I listen to your stories, like you are the definition of a survivor. Someone who just never plays victim. You never dwell on the past. You're always just focused on how life can get better,
Yeah.
right? And you're focused on the positive future
Yeah.
prospects of what you can create, what humanity can create as a whole. How would you define, what does it mean to be a survivor to you?
Well, I was thinking about what I went through, and I was trying to help people a lot. I was helping so much people. I brought my family over, the cousins. I brought, my brother was in the army for 22 years in Russia. And somehow, some way, you know, I brought him over with his wife, but I helped them all. I brought my brother a car, who had a car in Russia, my brother. And he was so negative. They said, oh, you had a car. He said, but mother bought it for us. Mother never worked a day in her life after the war. I mean, she didn't have no money. So everything, I never did nothing for him. Nothing. One of my cousins always used to be mad at him. How could you say that? She brought us over. And I found somebody for my cousin. He was engineer. They threw him out to Russia from work. He didn't have nothing to look forward. I was in the Bronx. I met not the mayor, but somebody, very important man. And I was doing manicure, and I was doing manicure for him. So he said, Anya, I said, my Russian cousin, I said, they threw him out from work. And he's with 2 children, and he's suffering. He said, why they threw? I said, because I made papers for him, and they don't want to let him out because he's an engineer. He says, you know what, come to my office tomorrow and talk to my secretary and bring all the things what he did for him, and in 3 months they're going to be here. I said, Bill.
How old were you at this point?
This is already after I was already in the United States.
When did you move, by the way? How old were you when you moved to the U.S.?
Well, I went through a lot first.
Yeah.
Before I came to U.S. U.S. I came in '67.
Okay.
But I was before that. Then I went to Israel Army. I did a lot of things in my life. So anyway, now I forgot what I was telling you.
No, so I'm sorry, but I was just asking you if you could summarize what it means to be a survivor for you.
Yeah. Well, I don't think about that. I think about all the time how to help people. That's my life. Every time, everybody has homes. The few family that I have, my cousin, my brother, my whatever I have here, some of them died already. All the time helping them, bringing them even money, sending, all the time. Now, my brother has a home, Pompano, on the ocean. My cousin, which we're gonna go later on to a house on the ocean. And I discovered, okay, and this is what it bothers me. I discovered sleepers with lights. I said to my cousin, he was an engineer, I said, you know what, could you be able to do it, you know, when children come in the middle of the night, put in the sleepers light? He said, no problem. He did it, and the next day, we were looking for somebody to invest money. We couldn't find it. He didn't say nothing to me. He went, he sold it for $15,000.
15,000 or 15 million?
$15,000.
And you didn't get
And
it?
I didn't get a penny. And whatever he was having a meeting with people said, I discovered it. I said, he made it, but you didn't discover it. I told you how to do that. So now it's sneakers, everything is with that. That's
Light up shoes.
my creation.
Oh my God, you created that idea.
Yeah.
So if I can summarize things.
So anyway, so whatever it is, everything I said, I did it for them. Everybody has homes. What do I have? I have nothing.
So everything, for me, when you're talking about being a survivor, it's being resilient and not holding all these grudges and resentments from the past, but instead focusing on a brighter future.
Yes. Yeah.
And it seems like that's what has allowed you, since a very early age in Stalingrad, to really survive and thrive. Because one of the things that's also unbelievable about you when you're speaking is your ability to recollect and remember all of these vivid moments and memories from the past. Most people, if they're lucky enough to make it to 94 years old like you, they're suffering mentally. They have dementia, they have Alzheimer's, they're shaking because they have Parkinson's.
Yeah.
And you are just the perfect example of what it means to be healthy.
Yeah.
You are such a bright light. You're so mentally sharp.
I remember so many things.
So I'm curious to know, because we like to talk about health here too, what are some of the practices daily rituals that you have that allow you to be so sharp mentally and physically?
Well, I like to do exercise. I used to be a good bowler.
A good bowler?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean bowler? Bowler.
Yeah.
Oh, you used to bowl. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you use bumpers on the side?
198.
Bumpers?
The what?
You know the bumpers on the side?
Not for children.
I use bumpers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not
I
as
want to
good
do
as
it
you.
now. I'm looking into
We
it.
should go bowling.
Yeah, I want to go bowling. Yeah. I'm looking in now to hopefully. I know already when people are coming, I'm going to go bowling.
Okay, but bowling's not the best form of
Well, that's a
exercise.
good exercise.
Is it?
Oh, yes. Oh, I love it. I like when the things fall apart and the noise of it, it makes you feel good. And then I made some crazy things when I reached, when all my balls
Yeah.
I'm doing crazy for the people and they
What do you
laugh.
do? A celebration? You have a celebration there?
I do some. I lie down on the floor straight out because I did that. I mean,
Okay, so besides bowling, what are some things that you do?
Well, I do designing.
Okay.
I was a makeup artist. I was an art dealer. I was traveling all over the world.
And what are you doing today, other than bowling and creating? And you also have your skincare. It sounds like you're keeping your mind busy with projects all the time.
Yeah, I would love to do it more, but where I am now, I cannot help myself because I have nowhere to go. I have nowhere to go. I never dreamed in my life that I'm gonna be in a independent living, especially so much money it costs. I never dreamed. It's a good the Jewish Family Services helps me out a little, but I would never dream about it. Here I am in a place like that with old people. I consider myself old, and you cannot talk to them. They just. I said, you should use my cream to make the facial. They said, no, we like the way we are. So go and talk to people like that. I mean, so I don't sell nothing there.
So
and I'm
right
stuck
now-
with a lot of stuff.
So you're 94 and you're at this independent living
Yeah.
facility in Boca, right?
Yeah.
And it's not the best environment for you. It doesn't seem to inspire you or feed your creativity. It doesn't seem like there's people there that have the same energy that you have that you can really be friends with.
Yeah. Well, I was living on Royal Palm, 101 Royal Palm near Mazda Park.
Okay.
In that building. It was great. I used to go to Chaps restaurant. We would meet a lot of women, a lot of people I was stalking. But then they raised my rent $100,000. $1,000 more. That means in one room, a Royal Palm, it would cost me the same thing like I'm now with food and everything. So I had to move. And then,
One of the things when we were talking that really surprised me was just the lack of financial support that you get.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I was inspired to also do this and, obviously share your story with the world, but also is to bring awareness to the fact that you are a treasure. I feel like you should be taken care of so much, in every way, not just financially,
Yeah.
but the fact that there's a struggle there financially and you're living at a place right now, that you don't love really saddens me, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the intentions also with this project is to bring awareness to your story and bring awareness to your current situation as well as other survivors and raise money because the bottom line is, Raina, myself, we wouldn't have the opportunities that we have now if it wasn't for someone like you,
Yeah.
Paving the way and really leading our lineage. So, for me, that's like the thing that really made me
But I'm
feel.
going to tell you, some of them is my fault too. Because I was talking to many places and they wanted to pay me. And they pushing me envelope. I said, no, I do it from my heart. I have to do it because, I love the children should know what the Holocaust was. I said, I'm doing it for my, so only one day in North Carolina, the pastor, he said, you have to take it. I said, okay. So it was $150, but I did not want to take money.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Now hopefully you've shifted your mindset.
Yes,
Right?
since I know Reina, I got already $2,000.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Memphis, Tennessee, and but like that, I never did.
Yeah.
I never, all the time, I'm doing it for the children. But how about me? But then I said, but you know what, Anya, you survive, you're okay. Don't think about yourself, think about the kids. The kids write me beautiful letters. I have letters so much, about hundreds of them. And that brings me pleasure. And the children call me every Friday to wish me a good Shabbat. You know, that brings me pleasure. So I forget about my problems.
Yeah.
So I said, somehow, some way, I'm surviving.
I think the receiving, allowing yourself to receive some financial support will help you be able to speak at more places and impact more people. So it's perfect.
At least I'm gonna get for something.
But I think it's also really interesting because we've talked about how since you were 10, 11 years old, you've basically had to figure out life by yourself and literally survive on your own.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the same reason why it's hard for you to accept support from other people, because you're so used to doing things by yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
So now that you're 94, we get to create a new story and we get to allow ourselves to receive some support.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do my best to help you in that process.
I mean, now I'm paying in my place $3,600 a month.
And is the Jewish Family Services helping with that?
Helping with $1,000.
That's it, really?
That's it.
That's bullshit.
You know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to really
And yeah, Morris Life. Morris, I never knew it. Morris Life, they gave $200. So $1,200. And now I heard they're gonna raise again the price. I don't know how it's gonna happen that now. I think they're gonna raise again. And I'm not so crazy about the place, but I said, thank God I'm there and everything, you know, if something gonna happen, they're there for me. So, you know, but like that, nobody, like my brother, I mean, I don't even talk to him now.
I want to summarize three of the greatest lessons I've learned in this conversation with you.
Yes.
Okay. And then I want you to share some final words. Number one is stop dwelling on the past. Stop dwelling on the past and focus on your bright future. And I think so often it's very easy to focus on past traumas and difficult situations and rather than actually being hopeful about the future.
But I'm not thinking about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I know.
Yeah, I just wanted here should be my life a little bit easier, which I don't complain. I have the little doggy. I don't complain, you know, but sometimes I am sad a little bit, but I don't want nobody should know.
What's the number one reason why you're sad?
Because sometimes people get together, you know, like thank God Reina has family. When I think about it, I met the family. I felt so good for her, for the family. I feel so good. I said, oh my God, I wish I would have my mom to give her a kiss, you know. And Mother's Day, the first time for a long time, my mother wasn't so, I gotta tell you something. My mother got 2 eggs. She sold her body for 2 eggs in the wartime.
Mm.
Yeah, just to feed us.
Mm.
So that thing that got to me, so I said, after all, she was trying. I mean, to do a thing like that. But and she was working with the wounded soldiers and everything. But I never had a hug. I never knew to say, I love you. No, none of those things, like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
doesn't exist. The only thing I was thinking is about my father, because my father used to give me a hug and a kiss, and and carry me on his shoulder.
I'm
It
curious
was
to
the worst
know.
that. Uh,
I'm curious to know if you could see the 11-year-old version of you, the 12-year-old version of you when you were just a little girl. Are there any words that you would want to say?
when I was 10, 11 years old, that was before the war a little bit.
Having the wisdom that you have now
Yes.
at 94 years old, what are some things that you would like to tell the 11-year-old version of Anya? Do you understand the question?
No.
So now that you're 94,
Yes.
I want you to pretend like the 11-year-old Anya,
Yeah.
the little cute girl Anya,
Yeah.
okay, who is in Stalingrad, okay?
Yeah.
I want you to just imagine she's right there, okay? With the wisdom that you have, with the knowledge that you have, with
Yeah.
the life experience that you have now, what would you say to her?
What would I say? I would say, you know what? If she likes that, she should do that too, because it's important. It's like the same thing happened in Stalingrad. There was a girl, she was deaf. Nobody wanted to play with her. So I played with her. So she gave me sometime a little food because I played with her. So it's the same thing. I was playing with her. I was teaching her. She couldn't hear. She was very thankful to me. You see that
Yeah.
I am with her. You see, so I would, if anything, I would teach even. I would teach the children. Go. Maybe you would like this. Maybe you want to play this. Would you like to play that? Things like that.
Just be a little more kind.
Yeah, but with the girl, the deaf one, she helped me a lot. Nobody wanted to play with her. She was such a nice girl. I remember that.
What was her name? Do you know?
I don't remember her name. So I played with her when I was coming home and her parents weren't there. She prepared for me a little bag with a little flour, with a little piece of bread. Could you imagine to get a piece of bread for a week for 3 people, maybe a pound, for 3 days, for a whole week?
Anya,
Yeah.
as our time comes to a close during this conversation, I want you to imagine that all the 8 billion people of the world are right there, and they get to hear this conversation, right? And you have one sentence, okay, a few words that you get to share with them.
Be positive. Positive thinking. That's what I said to everybody. That's very, very important. Positive thinking. Like I said again, today doesn't work out right. Tomorrow is a better day. And it works perfectly. It works for me. And it worked for a lot of people when I told them that.
I'm so grateful for you, and I can tell you that you've made my life a lot better in just the 2 months. Just the 2 months I've known you, I'm serious. Even today and this week, been going through different challenges, but being able to just spend this time with you and hear your stories and just really be inspired by your journey. It's so special, and you're such a special woman.
You see, there is a lot of people that talk about Holocaust, but they don't. That's why the children are crazy about me. They want the autograph, they hug me, they kiss me. They said, "Can I give you a hug?" I said, "Absolutely." You see, because the teachers came over, even, what's her name is? Kimberly. She said, "Anya, I learned something." She said, "Nobody ever said that." She said, "The children, they love you." Because the teacher said, "We never heard that about bullying." Nobody did teach us that about bullying. About how to come to the parents, be good to the parents. Even, I'm going to tell you one more thing, and you're going to be shocked. My daughter is adopted, okay? She was in a bad environment for a while, okay? And she decided she was already I told her not to marry that man, but she married him. So she had 2 children. Then suddenly she got mad at me because my husband was putting in so much concentration camp. And then I met a woman, Jasmine, and she took away my husband. That's another story. Ooh, that's a big story. She took away my husband. So anyway, I said to my daughter, I was, she was very bad to me. She said, Mom, I don't want to know you. You're not my mother, and you're not going to see the children and forget about me. I said, Mona, what did I do wrong? She said, nothing. I just don't want to, you're not my mother. Then she wrote me a letter. She came to my house, it was already here, and she stayed only overnight, and she decided to go back. She wrote a letter. My God, it was unbelievable. Anyway, I read the letter. I'm sorry.
What did the letter say?
That's what I just said. You're not my mother. I hate you. Don't ever call me because I'm not going to talk to you. But I said, Anya, have patience. Have patience. She's a good girl. She has no parents. I'm the only parent. So she has got her father, got a divorce, and of course he died. So I said, Anya, have patience. So anyway, I called her up. And I said, Mona, how's the children? I told you, don't ever call me. You have no grandchildren. You are nobody. We don't want to know about you. I said, okay, Mona, be good, be healthy. Everything is okay, I'm sure. And, I was just telling them, okay. So every time I didn't fight with nothing, again, for 2 years. I said, Anya, have patience. The girl gonna be unbelievable child. And I'm gonna tell you, she's unbelievable. She's the best person and the best heart and the best mother that somebody could have. She changed completely. She said, Ma, I want to be near you because you maybe need help. I said, Mona, don't say that. I don't need your help. I can so by myself. Yes, I know, but I would like, and Daddy, I would like to be with you. I said, you have children. The children like you taught me. She said, they're gone, they have their own family, but I want to be around you because you taught me so much in life that I would never believe that I'm going to change like that.
And how long after she wrote that letter to you did she?
It's a couple of years, about 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. I think that's a really beautiful place to kind of wrap up this whole theme of being a survivor because,
If you would talk to her, there was no other words that my mother is the greatest. She's the most talented. She's the most wonderful. I love her to death. I love her for the rest of my life. Whatever. That's how she is. She knows.
But what's really incredible about that too, again, is a lot of people, if they receive that letter from their own child, they would be devastated to the point where they probably would also have their own anger and their own resentment towards that person.
Yes.
But you had this mindset of patience and compassion, which I don't know if I could have done the same thing. Like that just sounds extremely challenging to hear those words from the person that you've dedicated so much of your own time and energy into raising.
Yeah, to raise her and everything. And what it was unbelievable. Many times I cried in front of her. And she looks at me, she said, what are you crying for? Get away from me, But I still said, I walked away, wiped my tears, I walked away. I said, Anya, have patience, have patience. And that's exactly what I have, So now she's the best girl. And my friends said, are you crazy? You could adopt a child. Now she is in Montreal. She's blind. She has nobody. She said, I should have listened to you. I should have adopted a child too. I said, should have, would have. You know how many people I was teaching things the right way. They turned around, no. But then they came back to me, they said, well, I should have listened to you. My daughter, the same thing. Now I had a letter till a year ago. She came here and she was looking for the letter. She found the letter and she tore off the letter. So I wanted to, sometime I wanted to take the letter and just read it a little bit, see what I had through and what she was, and how she hated me. I looked for the letters, there's nothing else. I called her up, I said, Mona, did you see the letter that you wrote me? She said, why? And I said, because I want to look through it. She said, Ma, forget it. You don't have to read through. You're my life. I love you very much. You don't have to read that letter. I'm so sorry for the hard thing that I give to you. I apologize. I love you, Mom. I love you with all my heart. You're my mom, and there's no other mother. You are the only one. You know, so.
As we wrap this up, I'm curious to know, you've always been someone that has this positive mindset, right? You've always had something to look forward to, whether it was being in Stalingrad and seeing the little shoes and dress that you wanted to try on that kept your hopes alive of surviving, right? Whether it was just the brighter future with you and your daughter and being willing to overcome a decade, 10 years of distance, right? I'm curious to know, at 94 years old, what are you most excited about right now?
What?
What are you most excited about in your life right now?
You know what the truth is? I don't know. It's just, my life is just getting, I used to love to go to shows. I was an actress too. I was Fiddler on the Roof. I was Huffle around the way to the Gentile. I was a singer too. Did so many things in my life too. And I was traveling. I went to 48 countries. I speak 6 languages. And I learned so much, but everything street smart, everything. I never went to school. I wanted so much to go to school. Sometimes I have to write a letter. I cannot do it. I can read, but to write, forget it. You know, I'm not so good. So my life now is, it's in a way surviving. I'm surviving, I'm healthy, I'm okay, and that's it. And met Reina, they're like to me, she's my family. And you too now, and what the problem is I like young people. I cannot I cannot be with older people.
Yeah.
They just don't, I have nothing to talk to them about it. Because with Reina, I said, Reina, I think something, I said, she said she's taking a shower. I said, you're probably making love there. You know, so that's the way I am.
By the way, I did actually want to ask you this because I know a lot of people are going to be curious after watching and listening to you.
Yeah.
Are you single?
Yes, no. Yes, I'm single.
And are you ready to mingle? Are you open for a potential partner or romance at this stage of your life?
I don't know if I would be capable for. Depends what kind of romance. Depends. I wasn't good in sex. That's how I'm telling you right now. So I don't think I would be good now. I didn't know nothing about sex. My mother never told me anything. I got my period. I didn't know what it was. A boy gave me a kiss. I thought I'm pregnant. You know, that's my emotion. I didn't know nothing. She didn't let me know anything. So I don't know if you never know. But my second husband, he was all right. I mean, he really loved me.
Have you heard the expression before, the third time's a charm?
Yeah, never too late.
Never too late. I think if there's one thing I've learned from you, age is just a number.
That's true too. I would like to meet somebody nice to still go somewhere, do things, not to sit home. I love to see shows. I used to be a usher in a big theater. And now they didn't accept me. I don't know why. They have other people. But I used to see so many shows. I like to do something.
Yeah, you like
So
to stay
that's-
active.
Yeah, that's
Most
why-
people when they get 65, 70, you know, they're doing crossword puzzles, they're playing bingo.
You know, and cards. That's what my me is there. Every day you can see it. There's cards, Martian, this, that, playing with jewelry, make jewelry. I mean, that's not my cup of tea. My cup of tea to make something creative like this. My cup of tea is something to do, like to make up somebody if I could, if I would have the makeup, to explain about my
Santiago, could you make him a little more pretty?
Yeah.
He's exploring that part of himself.
So you see, that's what I want to do. If anybody gonna give me something to create it, like she said, you know, make me a jacket. I went and bought a jacket, yeah, and I made for her the jacket. But this is the jacket that it's not Diana Rose's one and Princess one. What? You should put it on.
She's gonna wear it. This is amazing.
You want me to put it? It's for you. No. It's your jacket. You should wear it. Right on. It's yours.
So, as we wrap this up, I know we've probably gone over our time. I
Well,
just want
we did.
just a little bit. So, right now, how old are you? 34?
32.
32,
27.
27. I'm 33.
I'm 45.
I want to know,
Yeah. I'm 39 like Jack Benny.
genuinely, one piece of advice from me.
Yes.
That's not be positive. I'm pretty positive overall. Give me one piece of advice in 30 seconds or less.
What?
One piece of life advice. I'm 33 years old. What is something that you think I need to hear from you? Something I need to learn?
Oh, what? I'm gonna tell you. I hope you're not gay.
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's maybe somebody else. Yes.
Did I give off those type of vibes?
No, but you know, if I met somebody, what is that? I met somebody yesterday on a meeting. She has twin sons. She knew them. One is became gay, is getting married. She showed me pictures, and I used to work with gay people. They are the best. They are wonderful as makeup artists. They used to come and tell me stories. Oh, my hair was standing up.
Okay, so
You know,
is your advice to me?
advice to you,
To turn
don't
gay?
be too picky. If met yourself a nice girl, and if you're gonna meet a girl, you come to me and show me, and I'm gonna talk to her, see if she's for you or not. I think my Jessica is for you.
Jessica, Anya's been trying to set me up with her granddaughter. We'll see. We'll keep you updated. But thank you so much for being the first guest on this Survivor series. We're going to continue supporting you. This community is going to rally together and really make sure that your life is as beautiful as it deserves to be. So I'm really grateful for you.
Yeah.
And thank you. I'm excited. We're going to go on a beautiful date with Raina. We're going to go on a lunch date on the water. And then we're getting you a massage.